It was an ordinary morning for everyone else, except me. It felt different, extravagant, wrapped in an aura of love, excitement, and endless possibilities. Since Danny asked me out, life had taken on a new glow. I felt as though destiny itself had chosen me for this love story. I couldn't help but fall harder for him every day. He had a way of making me feel cherished, like his love was poetry. This morning, I woke up to one of his classics. Darling, never forget, you're not a mistake. God is just getting started with you, so start your day with a smile that could make the world turn back. Waking up to love like that and falling asleep in its embrace. How could I ask for more? Danny had been a pillar of love, prayer, and encouragement, often reminding me of God's love through his words. I felt God had given him to me as a reflection of his unending grace. Yesterday, he came home with his sister, Susan. I'd gotten to his place early, wanting to surprise him. I cleaned the house, set up the bedroom, and made sure everything felt serene and welcoming. When he walked in, his expression was everything. Surprise and adoration, all wrapped up in one. He hugged me tightly and kissed my forehead softly. Danny knew how much I loved that. It didn't matter if we were arguing or laughing. That gentle kiss always melted my defenses. His younger sister, Susan, had been unwell and needed someone to care for her. Since she lived just a few blocks away from Danny's place, it made sense for her to stay close by. Susan had always struck me as graceful and composed, a natural beauty. I helped her settle in, making sure she was comfortable, before heading to the kitchen to prepare a meal for them. I wasn't hungry myself, so I focused on ensuring everything was perfect. After Susan fell asleep, Danny and I spent hours in the living room, talking about life, faith, and our dreams. He shared about his walk with God, and we even prayed together. His words were like honey, and I believed every bit of them. Time flew by, and before I knew it, it was 9 p.m. I had to rush back to my apartment. Danny, ever the gentleman, walked me halfway. When I got home, I sank into bed. My heart kept replaying the tender words he whispered as we said goodnight. It was 10:45 when I suddenly remembered. I'd left my phone charging at his place. I needed it for assignments due the next day. Summoning courage, I headed back to retrieve it. As I approached his door, a burst of laughter stopped me in my tracks. It was Susan's voice, light and carefree, drifting through the window. Wait, Susan? I thought she was ill. For 6 hours, she barely moved under the blanket. Now she was laughing? She sounded nothing like the Susan I knew. Her words sent chills down my spine.
Sleep almost got the better of me. I thought she was staying the night with you.
Danny chuckled. His voice was playful yet unfamiliar.
I told you, she never stays that late. She's a church girl, all in love with Jesus. We don't even kiss like that, you know. Just forehead kisses and hugs. That's her weakness. Love.
Susan giggled mischievously.
She really doesn't let you go further?
Danny sighed, saying,
Nah, I respect her pace, but honestly, I'm not into the whole church thing. A man needs more than love, you know. I need you. She can't give me what you can, Susie. I love you more.
More? Then end it with her, Susan pressed. Let's stop hiding Dan. Be real with me. The ground beneath me felt like it was crumbling. My legs turned to jelly, my heart raced, and my mind reeled. Susan, his little sis. What was I hearing? This couldn't be real. Wake up, Lizzy! Wake up! I stumbled back, with each step heavier than the last. Confrontation wasn't in my nature. I was frozen in disbelief. My mind swirled with questions as my low self-esteem whispered that I was the problem. Was I not enough? I love Danny, I really do. What do I do now? Should I have given him my body? Were the hugs not enough? Would that have made him stay? But a soft whisper broke through my thoughts. You are mine. It was the Holy Spirit, gentle, yet firm. My heart trembled, but his presence steadied me. You are not defined by what you give or withhold, Lizzy. You are loved because you are mine. Tears spilled down my face as I stood there, torn between heartbreak and clarity. Danny had been the one who led prayers at our believers' meeting just 2 nights ago. He spoke with much utterances and such conviction about the Holy Spirit's power. Could this same man now be saying he wasn't into church? By 2 a.m., I was sobbing uncontrollably in my room as I thought deeply about all our chats. His words felt so intentional, but now they were tainted. Still, doubt crept in. Maybe I had misunderstood. Perhaps it wasn't Danny at all. Maybe it was one of his friends. Yes, that had to be it. Danny would never betray me. He loves me and loves God too much. It's probably Susan's boyfriend. I heard he was friends with Danny. He must have come around to check up on her. But even as I clung to this thread of hope, the Holy Spirit's voice echoed softly within me. Watch and pray. Dawn couldn't come quickly enough. I decided I'd return for my phone and act as though I hadn't heard a thing. Maybe it really wasn't Danny. Maybe I was wrong. I managed to sleep off eventually, but my heart remained heavy. By 9 a.m., a knock on my door startled me awake. Who could it be? I dragged myself to the door, only to find Danny and Susan standing there. My heart skipped a beat, and words failed me. Were you still sleeping? Danny asked, with a soft smile. My tongue felt heavier than ever. It's already 9 a.m. Were you able to finish the assignment? You left your phone at my place yesterday. Assignment? That was the last thing on my mind. Susan reached into her bag and pulled out my phone. Here, she said cheerfully. Thanks so much for yesterday. I enjoyed the meal, and I'm feeling so much better now, thanks to my big bro. My mind spiraled. I imagined poisoning the food as though a demon whispered to me. Shaking the thought away, I forced a smile. You're welcome. I'll get ready now. You guys can go ahead. I'll catch up with you later. Danny, ever insistent, replied, I'll wait for you, babe. No, don't worry about me, I said quickly, my voice a little too high-pitched. You can't be late for your classes because of me. We'll meet later for sure. I busied myself with tidying my bed, avoiding his gaze. Okay then, he said, his arms outstretched, beckoning me into a hug. Come here. For the first time in our 3 years of dating, I hated that gesture. My mind raced with excuses to avoid it, but Susan broke the tension with a teasing, "On, I'm so jealous right now." I couldn't stop myself. I fell into his arms like a puppet. But as he kissed my forehead, all I could think about was Judas. So this is what betrayal feels like? Why does it hurt this much? I watched them walk away together, laughing to themselves, every step tearing into my chest. Summoning all the courage I had, I called out, Danny, did you have a visitor last night after I left? Did one of your guys come around? I saw someone heading toward your place after you dropped me off. It was a lie, a well-constructed one. I held my breath, hoping for an answer that would either soothe my doubts or confirm my worst fears. Danny turned back and smiled. No, babe. You were the last person I saw last night. My heart sank. The lie I told had unveiled the truth I didn't want to face. I wasn't dreaming after all. I've been played by my first love. And then, in the stillness of my despair, I heard the Holy Spirit whisper once again. I kept warning you, watch and pray. Suddenly, another voice broke through, shaking me intensely. Lizzy, wake up! My eyes flew open to see Debbie, my roommate, staring at me with concern. Why were you crying in your sleep? I sat up, disoriented. What? I mumbled, wiping my face. You were crying, Debbie repeated. Danny's been calling. It's already 7 a.m., Lizzy. You should pick up. 7 a.m.? I blinked. The ache in my chest lingered, but the realization hit me like a wave. It was a dream. Danny had been asking me out for weeks. Yet in this dream, he had already broken my heart. I prayed about this. I strongly believe the Holy Spirit must have revealed this to me. What's going on? What do you mean? Debbie asked. Her brows furrowed in confusion. Tears welled up in my eyes, but this time they weren't from sorrow. Thank you, Holy Spirit, I whispered, picking up my Bible. Thank you for showing up for your girl once again. I thought to myself, it wasn't marriage or anything close to courtship. So what was I thinking being so carefree, accepting hugs and kisses? I felt a surge of clarity and strength. I'll watch and pray. Thank you so much, my beautiful Jesus.